Game developer Akira prepares to shut down the servers of his creation, the RPG Infinity Game, once it hits midnight. He then bids goodbye to the main character, Demon Lord Hakuto Kudo, and wipes out the game. However, Akira finds himself in the body of Kudo and is transported to the realm of his game. To make sure he is not dreaming, he activates the administrator mode of the game and finds out that it is different from his Infinity Game. As he's thinking of what to do, a disheveled girl comes out of the bushes and tells him he has to flee. Just then, a gigantic demon called Griol appears. It attacks Kudo, but the Demon Lord retaliates, causing the low-rate monster to be thrown in the air. He then contemplates that he doesn't know the existence of the beast and the girl in the game. He introduces himself to the girl, and the girl names herself Aku. She tells him that they are in the kingdom of the Holy Light, where people worship the cherub. The great cherub had sealed the monster they encountered in the past, but was able to free itself. She also elaborates that they are governed by 3 holy maidens, holy knights, and an organization called the Holy Church. Hearing this, our hero wonders why he was summoned to the fantasy game and deduces that Kudo was the one summoned in the game, and he was just dragged along. Looking at the disheveled girl, Kudo tells her to take a bath in the lake and just holler if she is finished. As Aku plays in the water, she wonders who Kudo is and fears that he likes her clean before serving her dinner. Meanwhile, Kudo activates the administrator and gets a fresh towel and soap for Aku to clean herself thoroughly. Alone, Kudo sees his skill points dropping and wonders how he will going to build points to gain more abilities. Done with bathing, Aku gives him back the cleaning items and thanks him for his kindness. Kudo then asks her if there are many monsters around, like the Griol, thinking of defeating many to gain his depleting skill points. Aku denies this, saying that if Griols are rampant in the kingdom, it will turn into shambles. Kudo can't believe this, as the creature is pretty weak. He then asks for Griol's den to investigate more. The girl informs him that the Griols used to be sealed at the wishing shrine in another part of the forest. He requests that she lead him to the wishing shrine, to which she agrees. However, he sees her injury and limp leg and offers to carry her on their journey. She declines the offer, as she doesn't want him to get dirty. Kudo insists, telling her their journey will be faster this way as well. He is surprised when the girl suddenly cries. She tells him that she has been regarded as a nuisance, and the village appoints her to do all the dirty work. They called her filthy, finally cast her out, and sacrificed her to the Griol. The Demon Lord tells her that she did an important task for the village and carries her. He points out that he won't get dirty just by touching her, and they can always wash themselves. While on their way, she tells him that the cherub was able to seal the Griol by using the shrine's power, and according to the legend, it can grant the wishes of those who visit. Finally, they arrive at the wishing shrine. Upon entering, Kudo encounters decaying dead bodies and is greeted by the master of the shrine, called Idol. The idol tells him that it has granted many wishes, and as its last, it will grant Kudo's wish. Kudo wishes to return to his word. However, the creature tells him that the dead people around him summoned him, and she can't defy a wish that was made. Instead, the idol gives him a powerful ring as her last visitor. Kudo is annoyed, as he doesn't want to wear a useless skull ring. She hopes that his wish will come true and turn into dust after years of granting the wicked wishes of humans. He exits the shrine and asks Aku if there are large cities nearby. She tells him about the Holy Land, and he requests that she draw a map for him. Hearing this, Aku asks to come with him on his journey, as she doesn't have a place she can go home to. Kudo contemplates this and deems that it will be helpful for him to travel with someone from the strange world. After he agrees, they go to her village to get some of her belongings. He carries her again and leads her to her withered village. Upon arriving, Kudo turns himself invincible and communicates with Aku as a voice inside her head. Just then, the villagers bully Aku and throw rocks at her. Enraged, Kudo tries to defend the girl, but his ring glows, and a voice tells him that he can dispose of anyone for him. The ring then calls him the root of all evil, as he created a game that purged countless lives. Somehow, the spirit of Akira appears and makes the skull ring stop talking. Kudo then stands up for Aku and tells her to get her belongings. The villagers are surprised that the Demon Lord is in front of them, and he calls the girl a plague. Kudo snaps and burns one of the huts to retaliate. The two escape, and Aku thanks the Demon Lord for saving her. They then continue their journey to the holy capital. One of the holy maidens, Luna, is on her way to see the Demon Lord and annihilates the man by herself, without her other sisters. Meanwhile, A bandit reports to the leader of the moles that the maiden is approaching their location with her troops. The man named Wengoal smiles, wondering if she will finally subjugate them. However, the lackey tells him that it doesn't seem that they are the target of Luna. Meanwhile, after trekking up a rocky mountain, Kudo decides they should take a rest and camp out for the night. He then summons items from his darkness portal and creates a base for them to sleep on. She thanks the Demon Lord for the space and finds that there is a bathroom inside where she can take a bath. While lying on the bed, Kudo considers his return to his world and hopes to find answers in the holy capital. He wonders if he still has a job to go back to. After taking a bath, Aku lies down on Kudo's bed, making him uncomfortable with the idea of them sleeping together. The next day, Wengoal and his bandit crew plan to ambush the Holy Maiden on a rocky road, but instead, they encounter Kudo and Aku. Despite suspecting a possible trap for Luna's ambush, the bandit leader decides to attack. They unleash a barrage of arrows, but Kudo easily blocks them with his assault defensive barrier, which automatically protects him from enemies below level 30. The bandits emerge from hiding and surround the duo. Wengoal introduces himself, and Kudo notices his striking resemblance to his manager, Aoki, apologizing for missing work. Wengoal accuses Kudo of confusing him to distract him from the fight. The bandit leader then insults Kudo, who takes offense. Amid their argument, a bandit tries to attack Kudo, only to be swiftly defeated by the Demon Lord. Suddenly, Luna arrives, making the bandits run off. She doesn't let the bandits escape, and she attacks them with her holy power. Kudo tries to protect Aku from the assault and notices that his assault barrier is never activated, meaning the girl is at her maximum level. He demands an apology from her for attacking out of nowhere. Realizing that he doesn't know who she is, she introduces herself as Luna, one of the 3 holy maidens. By her command, the knights charge toward the Kudo, but he easily activates his barrier. He then grabs the holy maiden and smacks her across the back to teach her a lesson. Kudo and Aku continue their journey with Luna's money in the man's hand. Meanwhile, the holy maiden's entourage follows behind. The duo finally arrives at the Kingdom of Holy Light. They enter the marketplace and decide to buy random stuff they will need on their journey. The two book a room at a nice hotel, and Aku tries to stop him as it will cost them a gold coin. She accidentally calls him the Demon Lord, and Kudo reminds her through telepathy that she must address him as an older brother in public to avoid attention. Upon entering the room, Kudo is pleased that it looks as luxurious as it should be. He then tells the girl they should have dinner, but leads her to a boutique first to buy her a change of clothes. Aku then emerges from the dressing room, resembling a princess with her attire. As Kudo observes her closely, he notices she has different colored eyes. Delighted with how adorable she looks, Kudo orders every outfit in the boutique that suits her, much to the manager's joy. The two then head to a fancy restaurant, where curious whispers from other diners speculate about their identities. Just then, Luna barges in and berates the man for stealing her money. To stop her from causing a ruckus, Kudo tells her to eat with them and threatens to discipline her again. Remembering what happened earlier, Luna immediately sits with them. He orders her food, which she devours immediately. While walking on the way back to the inn, Kudo carries Aku as he sees her limping. Back in the hotel, Luna confronts him, saying she doesn't have any place to stay because he got her money. With Aku's request, he gives the maiden the remaining amount of her money and lets her stay in their room for the night. Elsewhere, another holy maiden is on her way to the city. While inside the bathtub, Luna tells Aku to treat her like an older sister. Aku is delighted, but asks if it is okay to speak to a holy maiden that way. However, Luna assures her that they're close enough now that they see each other unclothed. Meanwhile, in the living room, Kudo gazes at a tiara, then stashes it into a portal. He reflects on the fact that in this world, he can store an unlimited number of items, unlike in the Infinity Game, where he's restricted to 10 at a time. Just then, the two girls walk out of the bathroom, and he immediately asks Luna everything she knows about the cherub. She tells him that the cherub died after sealing the Griol because it used up all its power. However, the Kingdom of Holy Light still has the Ophan and Seraph, who serve to guide the people. Meanwhile, the deranged Holy Maiden and her horsemen are still riding to reach the city of Yahoo. She swears to drag Luna home, as she believes that she only wants attention and doesn't believe that a demon lord exists. One of her horsemen, Mount Fuji, tells the maiden that the Griol was killed, and people speculate that it was the demon lord. Upon hearing this, She realizes that her younger sister is withholding information from her. Upon returning to the inn, Kudo inquires about the whereabouts of Ofan and Seraph. Luna informs him that their locations remain unknown to everyone. There's a belief circulating that Ofan might be the stone statue located in the Wishing Shrine, but Luna rejects this idea, refusing to accept that the deity has been corrupted. Kudo ponders over the truth of this, and recalls the idol's revelation that it was once pure but turned evil after fulfilling wicked human desires. Determined to uncover more details, Kudo plans to gather information throughout the holy city, but visits an antique shop first. In need of funds, he exchanges a prized tea bowl used for serving distinguished guests. The fine arts dealer, Nandan, is thoroughly impressed with the bowl and inquires about its price. Kudo states he wants a giant gold coin in exchange, which shocks Nandan. The elderly man then shares rumors he's heard about him being a descendant of royal lineage, prompting Kudo to chuckle. Before finalizing the transaction, he insists that Nandan agree to exchange the bowl for only 5 gold coins, leaving the owner even more astonished. Outside, Kudo silently rejoices as the tea bowl costs nothing in the Infinity Game, but unexpectedly gives him a heap of money. While thinking of treating Luna and Aku for dinner, he hears a woman scream for Luna. Elsewhere, a group of Satanists believe they failed to summon the Demon Lord. However, their leader notes that if it resulted in the Holy Maidens taking action, their efforts were done in vain. He then reiterates to his followers that they need to eradicate the Holy Maidens. Back in the inn, the deranged queen is outside with her men, demanding for her sister to come out. She also screams for the Demon Lord to come out if he's present. Just then, Luna comes out and tells her sister that there is truly a Demon Lord who is obsessed with her behind. Suddenly, the Satanists emerge with the intent to kill the Holy Maidens, casting spells of fire and ice. The Killer Queen retrieves her sword from Fuji and uses it to deflect the Satanists' assault. Kudo then notices the Satanists' attire, recognizing it as identical to the clothing worn by the bodies in the Wishing Shrine. With ease, the 2 maidens and the other men engage in combat against the Satanists. However, the tide shifts when one of the Satanists, Walker, releases the shadow creature Hades from a chest. It instantly kills the soldiers in its path and weakens the maidens upon contact with its dark shadow, stripping them of their divine protection. As the Satanists are about to shoot their arrows, Fuji faces the arrows and sacrifices himself to protect them. The shadow then slowly crawls to Kudo, and the skull ring talks to Kudo, advising him to toss a grenade to kill everyone. Kudo is hesitant, as he knows that following through will also harm the maidens. However, the ring argues that since they are already attempting to kill the Demon Lord, they might as well proceed. The ring then weakens Kudo to the point where he cannot move. With the shadow creature closing in on him, Kudo urgently needs to summon something. The game interface indicates that Kudo cannot control the actions of the character he must transform into. Left with no other option, he selects the transformation. A bright white light emerges, causing the shadow creature to vanish. In its place stands a white-haired man clad in all white attire, featuring a dragon motif on his jacket. Confused about his surroundings, the man spots the Satanists mistreating women and children, prompting him to launch a counterattack. With a single punch, he defeats several members. For his final move, he strikes the air with such force that it summons a dragon, swiftly ending the fight. Meanwhile, the Killer Maiden is impressed by the man and falls for him. Out of goodwill, he tells her to inform him if bad men mess with her again, and he'll come to rescue her. The deranged maiden falls even more and asks for his name. The man introduces himself as Zero. After making sure that Killer and the others are okay, he leaves. Elsewhere, the leader of the Satanists is able to run away with Hades and ponders why a dragonkin showed up. Aku runs into Kudo, who seems out of it. She then tells him that Luna and others encountered a dragonkin who defeated the Satanists. Ashamed of Zero, Kudo isn't able to tell Aku they are the same person and silently berates himself for making such a lame character. In a tavern, the witch Kika and the swordswoman Mikan are checking a bulletin board for potential quests. They come across a mission to eliminate sandwolves and decide to take it on. They notice a bounty poster for Kudo as the Demon Lord, sparking Kika's interest. While on their journey in a carriage, Kudo asks Luna about her soldiers. Luna replies that she doesn't require them since Kudo serves as her bodyguard. This offends Kudo, who disagrees with being her servant. As the two banter, Aku smiles happily, enjoying being part of a lively group about to embark on an adventure. Kudo, Aku, and Luna ride in a horse carriage along a desert road. Kudo offers Luna regular clothing, so she won't attract attention. Although Luna is initially hesitant, Aku thinks she will look great in it, and Luna eventually agrees to wear the outfit. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the desert, Kika and Mikan trudge through strong, sandy winds on their way to exterminate sandwolves for a reward. They hear the growls of a beast, and soon realize they are surrounded by hundreds of sandwolves. Opting not to engage in combat, they choose to flee. Back in the carriage, Luna needs to change her clothes, prompting Kudo to step out of the carriage. Outside, he contemplates how he can earn more skill points. Suddenly, he spots hundreds of sandwolves chasing Kika and Mikan, realizing that this is the opportunity he's been waiting for. As the horde is fast approaching, Kudo activates his barrier and attacks the beasts with his various skills. In the end, he is able to defeat the wolves, impressing everyone with how powerful he is. As the wolves are defeated, he goes back to the carriage and tells the two adventurers to be careful next time. As the carriage drives away, Kika can't help but fantasize about Kudo after seeing his power as the Demon Lord. Meanwhile, Aku praises the man for his prowess in fighting and deems that he really isn't an evil person. She plans to stay with him, even if the whole world becomes her enemy. Luna inquires about Kudo's opinion on her new attire. The Demon Lord compliments her appearance, putting the holy maiden in a cheerful mood. The group halts at an oasis to allow the horse to drink. Kudo conjures a shelter for them to rest under. He invites the coachman to join them indoors, but the coachman opts to stay outside to tend to the horse. Kudo then checks his administrative privileges and discovers that he has enough skill points to summon the 8 characters he previously had in Infinity Game. After thinking over who to summon, he chooses the genius doctor and scientist named Yuka. He contemplates that she will be useful to invent something that will shield his team against magic. However, he worries about her sadistic nature, thinking that she'll eliminate and dissect people without any mercy. Stealing his resolve, he summons the doctor. Yuka respectfully greets the Demon Lord and thanks him for summoning her. She then wonders where they are, and Kudo explains everything he knows so far, including that they are not in the Infinity Game. Upon hearing the situation, Yuka proposes that they require the Nightless City, which is the most technologically advanced city and the final area in Infinity Game. Despite Yuka's suggestion, Kudo hesitates to construct such a modern fortress in the fantasy world. The doctor wonders what could be the reason that they were summoned to an unknown world and looks forward to finding out the answer with her lord. She then asks what would be the first step for them, and Kudo answers that he wants to upgrade their base to a field hospital. He then forbids her to slay anyone, and she agrees, saying they can't do reckless things while knowing so little about the world. Even though she agrees, Kudo notes to be careful of Yuka, as she's still the feared mad scientist. Kudo introduces Yuka to Luna and Aku, and asks Yuka to examine Aku's injured leg. Yuka's fingers transform into surgical tools, which makes Aku nervous. The doctor also seems a bit eccentric, and asks Aku if she could dress as a boy after their session. Kudo intervenes, reminding Yuka that they don't have time for games, prompting Yuka to switch back to her professional mode. She then administers injections and treats Aku's injured leg, which miraculously heals, scars, and all. Aku attempts to stand, and is amazed to find that she can walk without a limp. She thanks Kudo and Yuka before joyfully running around the oasis. She initially thinks it's a dream, but Kudo reassures her that it's real, and she can now lead a normal life. Touched, Aku tears up, and the two walk hand in hand around the oasis. Aku then expresses her desire for Kudo to never leave her, to which the man responds that she should save those sentiments for someone she truly likes. Blushing, Aku realizes she may have already found the one. Kudo and Aku return to the base, where Kudo praises Yuka for her excellent work. Somehow, the acknowledgement makes Yuka feel euphoric, and she becomes touched after hearing that the Demon Lord needs her help. She realizes that he has changed for the better, and develops feelings for him. Kika is in the Noma bar, and she can't stop talking about how awe-inspiring and hot the Demon Lord is, despite Mikan repeatedly stopping her from doing so out of annoyance and reservations about trusting the man. At the Satanist base, Walking is talking to his Lord Utopia, the supreme leader of the organization, about his disappointment in their dragonkin back at the city of Yahoo. However, the supreme leader is more worried about the news of the Demon Lord, especially amidst rumors of him slaying their summoned Demon King Griol. He instructs his subordinate to focus on preparing for their next mission. Our group of heroes travels by carriage, and they stumble upon the desolate village of Rabbi. Luna claims that the village is her territory and guides the group around. However, she reveals that the church manages the territory on her behalf. Kudo sees between the lines, and he talks to Luna telepathically about his suspicions that the church is the actual lord of the place, and that they are only using the gullible Luna as their figurehead. Amid their exploration, he asks the Holy Maiden's permission, proposing the construction of a hospital and hot spring in the area. The church appointee, who is governing the land, sees Luna and the others. On his first sight of Kudo, he is shocked since he recognized him as the evil demon lord from all the wanted posters. Luna tells him that he is his servant. Making the appointee calm down, Kudo talks to the man and asserts that they should be the ones in charge of the town from now on. The appointee feels uncomfortable about his demand and says that he should discuss it with his church superiors first. The demon lord shows how suspicious he is of his statement, since he is implying that Luna is not the rightful lord of the territory. Back into a corner without any excuses, the appointee leaves the village with his horse and carriage, leaving the heroes behind to their own devices. Meanwhile, the rabbit women, called bunnies, are farming carrots on the land. They are having a hard time maintaining their crops, so the two bunnies, Kion and Momo, complain about the lack of water, which makes it all the harder to plant. Kudo asks for them, and so the two bunnies guide the heroes to the dry well. They explore inside the well, which confirms that they truly have no water. Kudo summons the Infinity Game low-level object, Pulley Wheel. He attaches the pulley wheel to the well and instructs Aku to use it. Miraculously, water drew from the well with every turn of the wheel, impressing everyone, especially since the water seemed to never end, no matter how many times they used it. Kudo warns the bunnies of the potential conflicts over a wheel that can create infinite water, leading Kion and Momo to vow their silence over its existence. The Demon Lord then gives Infinity Game fertilizer to the bunnies, leading them to cheer. Luna tells him that he is a good person for doing so much charity. However, the man tells her that his motives are solely for future business opportunities, since the bunnies can become employees for him someday. In the capital, city officials debate Luna's return to governing the rabbi. The elder Holy Maiden sits in the head chair. She expresses her worry over her sister Luna's alliance with the Demon Lord, while Donya, the head noble, distrusts the man too. Marshall, the head soldier of the capital, urges them to trust in Luna's instincts as a holy maiden and tells Donya that he only hates the Demon Lord since he started a fire in one of his towns. This leads to a heated argument between the two. In the end, Angel decides they should all wait and see what the Demon Lord's character is before making any big moves against the man. After the meeting, Holy Maiden Killer arrives while her sister Angel is alone in the meeting room. Angel asks about Luna and the Demon Lord, but Killer is too distracted by her deep thoughts of Zero to answer her properly. As the woman in love reveals she is carrying her own Zero plush doll, she cannot stop talking about her Zero, rolling her body repeatedly while lying on the ground because she cannot control her overwhelming emotions of love. The elder maiden looks at her, confused and unable to understand what is happening to both Killer and Luna nowadays.